feature skill Prime providing training on these 10 emerging technologies, starting with 3D printing and additive manufacturing. Second one is blockchain technology. Third one is cyber security, followed by Internet of Things. Fifth one is artificial intelligence. Sixth one is robotic process automation. Seventh one is social and mobile. Eighth one is big data analytics. Ninth one is cloud computing, and last virtual reality. Here we see that Hyderabad was the main lead center for cyber security. And for the cyber security course, the co-leads are Neelit Patna, C-DAC Trivandrum, and Neelit Kogima. So the future skill Prime was run against these 10 emerging technologies. If any one of you interested, you can will share the link of all the courses in the chat. Okay, you can based upon our interest, you can choose any of the courses. Um, and here in C-DAC Hyderabad, as we are the lead center for running cyber security courses, we are offering courses in 3 different formats. First one is for government officials training. It is named as GOT. So we are providing training for government officials under cyber security domain. So and then we plan the upcoming GOT training will be planned on June 20th. It is exclusively for the government employees. It is 2 week duration. The mode of conduction is online and is completely free for all the government officials. And second one is training of trainers for internal employees, whomever are the employees of the lead centers, employees of the resource centers, and employee of the spokes. So those can we are providing training for those people also. They are come under training of trainers. And last one is a bridge course. So this bridge course is common to all the people. So and then right now the bridge course is pragmatic approach to cyber security is currently available. The link is there. We also share the link in the chat conversation. It is online self-paced learning course. The total course fee for this bridge course is 1,200 inclusive of GST. And then after complete, it is available for 90 days, 90 days, and then total duration is 90 hours. Which theory 40 and practical demonstration is 50 hours. Commonly 90 hours you want to take the courses. So once you complete the courses, there is a certification will be conducted by SSC NASCAM. So if you clear the certificate, if anyone clear the certificate, SSC NASCAM certificate, the 50% of amount will be refunded to the appropriate candidates. That I explain the next slide. Yeah, so there who can attend the bridge course. So these are the people who can attend the bridge courses. IT employees in IT firms and non-IT firms can attend, and non-IT employees also can attend to learn these technologies. And then those employees who want to upskill their or reskill means those also can eligible to apply. And all the central government and state government employees and autonomous institution employees all are eligible to attend the courses. And also fresh recruits. So if any of your institution currently in third year and final year, they are in internship or apprenticeship means they are also eligible for attend this program. Yeah, as I already mentioned, the incentives for all the courses, SSC NASCAM will provide the incentives. Here we see that Hyderabad running, as I already told, we are running cyber security courses. The fees will be 1,200. So if you clear the certification and after verifying the documents, 600 will be refunded to the participants who attend the courses. In the similar way, for all other courses, remaining 10 courses are there. No, so whatever the course fee they fixed, in that course fee maximum of 3,000 with the 50% of the course will be refunded to the participant after clearing the assessment as well as after verifying the appropriate documents. So so the incentive will be received by all the participants who attend the courses by clearing the assessment as well as after verifying the documents. So if you have any doubts or any clarification you needed means you can contact us at csfs@cdac.in. We can help you out any. Thank you. So now I over to Anusha.
Thank you, sir. Before we begin the guest session, I would like to brief about Mr. Shankarraj Subramanian. Thank you, sir. Welcome to this webinar. So he is a renowned international speaker, cybersecurity consultant, and certified ethical hacker with 15 years of experience in the cybersecurity field. He was also involved in solving critical cybercrime issues for various government law enforcement agencies, including resolving the ATM frauds and malware analysis and network forensics, and also the web security architecture. He has affiliations with various government organizations. He is a consultant member of the Tamil Nadu Police Department and Coimbatore Cyber Crime Department. He is also a member of National Cyber Safety and Security Standards. He is an honorary member of All India Council of Human Rights, Liberties and Social Justice, and National Council of News and Broadcasting, and is an honorary member of All India Anti-Corruption Council and an executive director of the State Public Grievances Council and a convener of the District Political Affairs Committee. He has many cybersecurity affiliations. He is an active member of International Cyber Threat Task Force. He is a member of Internet Society, ISOC, and he's a reviewer of Web of Trust. Welcome, sir. Over to you now.
Thank you. Okay. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Just give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. Okay. Great. So, yes, my name is Shankara Subramanian. I'm a certified ethical hacker. I have 17 years of experience in this field. I have worked with different government agencies. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Prompt Infotech, which deals with cybercrime, cyber security solutions, and dealing with cybercrime cases. And also, we provide training services for all students and working professionals. And my job profile is about providing pen testing services to corporates. I've trained Russian government, I've trained Bhutan government, I've trained Indian government, Nepal, Singapore government. I've trained different government law enforcement agencies on how to secure their network. You have a network infrastructure wherein it has many servers, firewalls, and a lot of sensitive information in your infrastructure. And in case of any attack, what should be done? What preventive measures should be done to prevent all these attacks? And in case if any attack happens, how to trace back what has happened? Fine. So this is my primary job profile, and I've been doing this for like 17 years, and I've traveled to 45 countries till now. I have delivered more than 150 plus international sessions to different universities and corporates. And having said about this, we'll go on with today's topic of cyber security and cyber crimes. We have a limited time. I don't want to give you a description of what cyber crime is, what ethical hacking is, what is the history of hacking, types of hackers. No, we are not going to see that. I'll tell you how an attacker can easily commit a cyber crime, and how cyber security can help us in preventing all these cyber crimes, and what is the need for cyber security, and how important is this domain called cyber security now, and how we can proceed further. So, having said about this, we'll start with this. Just give me, okay. Cyber crimes. So, cyber crimes, as we know, we have different types of crimes which can occur. The most common crime which is occurring in India right now is, you have phishing based off attacks. Yes, you have ransomware based off attacks, and you have sextortion, where people tend to go for a chat or a video chat or a voice chat, and they record the conversation between the victim and the attacker, and they tend to blackmail the victim. That's called sextortion. You have injection based attacks, and it goes on. We have n number of attacks like this, and to see about all these attacks, and to see what tools and attackers can use, it's going to take a lot of time, so we are not going for that. To start with, minimalistic approach can be like this: consider ourselves to be an attacker. So we are the attacker here. Yes, and this attacker here, he doesn't have a sophisticated infrastructure like a server, or doesn't have a workstation worth of say 10 lakhs. No, he doesn't have anything like this. In case if he has a setup like this and he wants to perform an attack, then that's going to be a sophisticated attack. We are not going to target this. We are going to target the most dangerous type of attack which can happen with a basic configuration laptop. Say, imagine this is a very old laptop which runs Windows 7. Fine. So now the attacker is using a very basic laptop with Windows 7. with an internet connection. This can be a wired connection or this can be a hotspot which is shared from his mobile. If the lab setup of an attacker is this, and still if he is able to perform a dangerous attack, or if he is able to cause a major impact on any network infrastructure, then probably we'll have to worry about this. Worrying about this with a sophisticated infrastructure is perfectly fine, but anyone for this setup, you can have this attacker can be a 10th graduate, he can be a 12th graduate, or he can be a first year student, or he can be like a working professional, because everyone has this basic setup now. Now, what we are going to discuss is what kind of cyber crimes can occur with a minimalistic approach like this, right? How an attacker can make use of a basic utility like this and cause a maximum damage to any network infrastructure, right? So for this, we'll first look at the vulnerabilities. Say attackers, they target vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities here means weakness. Vulnerabilities refers to weakness. Now, what do you mean by weakness? Weakness refers to, say, for example, if you have a server, and this server is a web server, fine, this is a web server, and what is the function of a web server? It is to load the website, or it is to host the website. So we are connected with the internet. I am some user from here. I'm typing it as abc.com, considering abc.com is our target website, and this is the web server of abc.com. Yes. So when I type abc.com, abc.com's website loads, just like how a normal website is going to load. Whenever you go for anything and you type, okay, yamai.com, you type something, the domain name of the website, and yes, you have the website to be loaded like this. Perfect, right? And all these contents, whatever is present here, is present inside the web server. So we have all the contents. We have home directory, home content. We have a directory called about us, which will have the contents for about us. You'll have a directory for contact us, which is going to have the contact us page information, and the script which is needed for loading all these pages. Yes. So this is a very basic setup. Now, when speaking about vulnerabilities, or when I speak about weakness, what can be the weakness with a web server? The weakness of a web server can be exposing any of the sensitive information. Say, for example, if they have username and password stored in their server, or if they have any important configurations which is stored in the server, they have any account related information which is stored in the server, all these will be stored in the server, and these are sensitive information which is stored in the server. And when a web server like this is leaking out all these sensitive information, then probably that is very bad. Yes. So we'll take it from this perspective. We'll take it from an attacker's perspective like this. An attacker who has a very basic setup from here, he is going to target all the websites, say web servers. And when it comes to web servers, as I told, it will have different directories like this. You might have public directories. For obviously, you'll have public directories, or you can call it as open directories. Open directories, or directories like what we have seen. Home directory is a public directory, and about us is a public directory. Contact us is a public directory. Why are these called as public directories? Because the information, say it might have one.jpg, it might have pictures, it might have videos, or it might have scripts. Anything, whatever is present inside a public directory can be viewed by anyone from their computer using a simple browser. So these directories are called public directories because these directories are meant to be sharing information within them. And we also have sensitive directories. Yes, we have sensitive directories like say for example, you have admin directory. We have admin directory which can have important information. We have backup directory. Again, this can have important information. We have trash directory. Again, this can have all the deleted information of a server. These directories are called sensitive directories. Why? Because if anyone from outside is trying to access all these sensitive directories, no, the server is not going to allow this, because these directories contain sensitive information about user details, sensitive details, credit card information, whatever it might be. So access to this by any public will be blocked. In case the web server what you are speaking here is vulnerable, if it is vulnerable or if it is weak, what can happen? Anyone from outside, be it an attacker or anyone, what they can do, they can go with simplistic tools. Like, I'll tell you what simplistic tools we have. Simplistic approach for gaining a lot of information like this, or you can go for complex tools which again can give much more information about your server. So a simplistic approach or using a complex tools, that depends entirely on the attacker. Now, if anyone who has knowledge of hacking, ethical hacking, means like hacking or attacking, exploiting, then they can go with complex tools. But assuming our attacker is a script kiddie, he's a school kid and he doesn't know about any tools, so he's going for a simplistic approach. Now, what is a simplistic approach, or what can happen with a simplistic approach is this. Say, for example, let us open this. Just give me one minute. Okay, a simplistic approach can be this. He can use a very basic tool which everyone uses on a day-to-day basis. Now, my question is this: in case if you open your laptop or you sit in front of your system, can you name any three websites which you visit on a regular basis? These websites, they are like, okay, these are the common websites, or you cannot avoid these websites, something like that. Any websites which you visit on a day-to-day basis? Yes, probably you might, the first website what you might be visiting is Google. This is one basic website which we visit on a daily basis. And yes, Gmail, yes, obviously. And we also have, okay, media, yes, we have Facebook, or you can also have, you might have Instagram. Now, interestingly, if you look at Google, Google is a common search engine. Yes, this is a search engine which you use it for searching any important information, whatever you need. So you are looking for some hotels, you're looking for restaurant, you're looking for some books, you're looking for videos, you want to search something, yes, we go for Google. Now, my approach, or this approach what we are going to see here, is going to target Google. As we all know, Google is a search engine which is used to search sensitive information, and we have two types of results in Google. We have exact results. Exact results are those which you need for, I mean, like, which you are exactly looking for. We also have relevant results. Relevant results are the results which, which gives you, Google is giving you something because it didn't understand what you're looking for. Now, assuming my search criteria is this, my search objective is going to be like this. I want the login pages of all websites from India. I wanted to search this in Google, and this is your search objective. You want the search result of all the websites which have login pages from India. Now, in case if you are searching Google with this objective, if you're performing a very basic approach, you might give something like this. Say, you might say, okay, you might come up with a keyword like this: give me the list of all websites in India which have login pages. Yes, probably we might type something like this, because whenever your search criteria is very big, we assume that Google is a friend who is sitting next to us, and we type something like this, and we assume that Google is going to understand what we have asked for. Now, when you type a lengthy sentence like this, Google is not going to understand what you're looking for, and it is going to give you relevant results. It is going to give you only this, because Google didn't understand what you're looking for, and it is giving you some results which it assumes that it might match you. But to get exact results, in case if I'm searching this, I might use keywords like this: in URL, login, site, IN. As simple as it is. In URL, login, site, IN. In case if it is Pakistan, I'll give it as PK. If it is US, I'll give it as US, UK. Right? As simple as it is. So in case if I give it like this: in URL, login, site, PK, if you look at the search results, What do you get here? See, login page, login page of Pakistan.pk.pk.pk. So it is a very basic approach. It is a very simplistic approach of using Google to get exact results, right? And I've used few keywords like this. These keywords here, like this in URL, site, these keywords here, they are called as Google Docs. Yes, and Google Docs are used in case if you want Google to understand what you're looking for, and if you want Google to give exact results to you. Google Docs, we have different types of Google Docs. You have file type. File type is one Google Doc. You have in URL, you have in text, you have in title, you have site, you have a plus operator, you have a minus operator, you have a lot of different operators like this. But to stick with the basics, yes, these are the basic Google Docs. So Google Docs, for your understanding, it is a list of keywords. It is a list of keywords with which you can with which you can access Google to get exact results. Yes, so these are the list of keywords. If you're looking for PDF files related to hacking, I'll give something like this: file type PDF, in text, hacking. So you might get all PDF documents which have more number of keywords called hacking. Yes, and in title, we have a lot of Google Docs like this, which again, say for example, if I type like this in URL, hotels, enter. See, in Google result, you might get three things like this. Say, for example, just for your understanding here. Okay, this is a Google result here, and probably if you look at Google result, we have three parts here. This is one, this is two, and this one here is three. Yes, and so the first part, whatever you see here, this one, you call it as in URL. This is in the URL, and this hotels.com India, this is in title. In title, and any text whatever is present here within the website, this is called in title. So it depends on where you're looking, what type of keyword you're looking. In case if you use in URL, in title, and okay, I'm sorry, this is in text, this is in text. Yes, so based on this, based on the keyword, wherever it needs to be present, you can use these keywords and you can get exact results. Now, why are we looking at Google Docs? We were looking at something like web servers, simplistic approach, public directories, and sensitive directories. Immediately we moved on to Google and Google Docs. Why? Because Google Docs is one simplistic attack, approach for any attacker, right? What he can do, yes, we all know Google Docs were introduced for a good purpose. It is to search Google effectively. But attackers, they can use Google Docs or they misuse Google Docs for what? For getting a lot of sensitive information. How can they do that? Say, just as an example, if this is abc.com and I'm trying to access the home directory of abc.com. In the background, this request will go like this: index of home directory from abc.com. Right? The request goes like this. So index of home directory from abc.com, it is going to go to abc home directory and it is going to get the request. Fine. So now what we are going to do is we are trying to find out, we are going to perform a random search. This is going to be a random search in Google, a random search of any website. Any website we will target. Okay. We'll target Indian websites. We'll try this. Fine. A random search of all websites in India, which have exposed their sensitive directories of their server. Yes. So we'll go for the sensitive directories. As I've told you, yes, we have admin directory, we have backup, we have trash, we have a lot of directories like this. Now look at how we can use Google Docs to, go for sensitive directories like this. I'm typing index of. Let us look for any directory called backup. Yes, I'm looking for a backup directory from India. So I'm typing index of backup site in, enter. What do we get here? Marvel's Cake and Bake, a bakery shop. Whenever you open any website, probably you should get something like this. Just 1 minute. Okay, whenever you are accessing any website, probably you should be able to see the content of the website like this. But when you open sites like this, index of backup, okay, advanced. Okay, we'll close this. We'll go for this index of backup. See here. Now, what do you see here? This is a site gnluonline.ac.in, an Indian website. I'm looking at the backup directory. And just for your understanding, I'm looking at all the contents which is inside this directory. So that is why I'm able to look at all the listings, all the files which is present inside this backup directory like this. And the worst part is, in case you want to access any directory like this, see here, you will be able to access it perfectly. You want to download anything which is sensitive, yes, you can also download. You're free to download because these directories are open for download. Now see here, it is all 2020 and 2021. So these are all recent documents which are uploaded. Now this is being vulnerable. In case if you have your web server to be vulnerable like this, then probably attackers can use the simplistic approach. Now, what tool did we use? No, we didn't use anything. Yes, we just gave a keyword in Google and Google gave us all these results. And if you ask me, is this a crime? No, this is not a crime. Why? Because I'm asking Google a question and Google is giving me answers. Now you want to blame someone, blame Google, not me. Yes, but in case if you find a username and password here, and if you take this username and password, and if you try to log in, then that's a crime. As far as you enumerate information or you get any information with Google, it is perfectly fine. But if you try to manipulate the information, use it somewhere else, then that becomes a crime. Now, in case if you change this to GOV, I'm looking for all the government websites throughout the world just to check what is vulnerable. See here, you have n number of government websites which have their directories to be exposed. Racing Commission, Nebraska, we'll look at this. Okay, see here, you have content importer, value inspector, you have a lot of sensitive information here. And this doesn't end here. You can use this keyword for trash, fine. You can give it as trash or you can give it as admin, or you want to move one step ahead, go for a sensitive directory like etc password. You will get a lot of information. Again, you can also, in case if you're technically sound, you can also go for HT access, which is a directory which contains all sensitive information, or you can go for HT password. Again, this is a password file which has username and password, or we'll move one step ahead and I'll say file type is INC and I want MySQL underscore connect. I want the configuration file called inc file for MySQL underscore connect. If you go for this, probably you might end up in seeing the database username and password. See here, this is tech.com, which is a website, and we have opened a .inc file here. This is a .inc file which we are able to access, which is hosted inside a server, but still we are able to access and look at the host name, database name, username, and password. We have the database name here, we have the username, we have the password. Yes, they have kept a complex password, but still the location where they have saved this configuration file, this was not secure. And in case if this is not secure, attackers can use any sort of technique like this to find out sensitive information. Or in case you wanted to look at CCTV cameras, yes, you can use CCTV cameras, online live CCTV cameras, we can use that. We can just use Google Docs to get any sort of information like this. To make it much more simpler, if you type Google Docs in Google and if you go for this website called exploit-db.com, go to this website. Here you will have the list of Google Docs which is present, Say for example, let us go to filters. Filters. Okay, it's loading. Let us see this, because in case if you if you don't feel comfortable with typing in URL file type something like this, see here, these are the list of Google Docs which is present and they have filters. And if you go for category, what type of Google Docs you want? You want to search for sensitive directories, you want to search for error messages, or what do you want? You want to search for sensitive online shopping information, just click on this. The category here will change. Once the category here changes, then probably what we can do is we'll be getting all the Google Docs which is related to sensitive online shopping information. So it's still loading, it's processing. Yes, sensitive online shopping information. All you have to do is copy this and paste in Google. You'll get some sort of sensitive information. Now, in case if you want to test this for your company is abc.com, and you wanted to check if abc.com is vulnerable. See, you are not attacking, you are performing a test on your company. So what you can do is I can type index of, I'll type site abc.com. Replace this abc.com with your company domain name and check if any of the domains are being exposed. In case if it is exposed, then probably we'll have to come up with a countermeasure. I'll tell you what countermeasure we have. Say we have to upload a file called robots.txt, which is a very simple file, robots.txt. So this is cyber security. What we have seen till now, this is cyber crime. Not means like with the time constraint, we have seen a very simplistic approach of a very common search engine like Google, and how Google can be used as a Swiss Army knife of obtaining all sensitive information. We have seen this, but in case if you go for a complex approach of using tools, the results will be very shocking. You will get n number of results from so much of websites in case if you go for tools. But since we have gone for a basic approach, yes, we have seen about Google and Google search, and this is one part of cybercrime, and this cybercrime comes under sensitive directory exposure. Sensitive directory exposure, or this is called as information disclosure. This is a type of cybercrime which an attacker he tries to extract the information from any sort of server, and he tries to make use of the information whatever he has obtained. Now, this is cyber crime and cyber security. Where does cyber security play in preventing all these attacks? So, in order to prevent this attack, an ethical hacker, why do we call him an ethical hacker? An ethical hacker has the knowledge. He has the knowledge, he has a skill set, and he knows how an attacker like this, how he is going to perform this attack. And an ethical hacker knows what is the background of this attack, how this attack happens, right? He knows each and everything, and he also knows how to prevent this attack. Yes, so that is the skill set of an ethical hacker. So now to prevent this attack, you can use robots.txt. This is a simple file which is written in Notepad. Notepad which has two different configurations of allow and disallow. You can decide which directories you wanted to allow, which directories you don't want to allow. Say, coming to this example here, what directories you want to allow? You want home directory contents to be allowed, anyone to be viewed. About us can be viewed by anyone. Allow, this is allow. But this, no, it is disallowed. This, no, it is disallowed. This is disallowed. So we have to make a configuration like this. I'll show you a simple configuration of robots.txt, which is like this. Okay, see here they have disallowed. It's a configuration file which is written in Notepad, and then you will have to upload this in the web server. In case if you find any sensitive directories like this, and what is a sensitive directory here? The sensitive directory here is backup. Yes, in case if backup is being exposed from your server, in your server, now what you'll have to do, you'll have to create a notepad like this. You'll have to disallow which directory, backup directory, and save this file as robots.txt, upload in your web server. Next time when someone tries to access your sensitive directories, it will not be allowed. Why? Because we have a robots.txt configuration file here which is going to prevent prevent attacker from accessing anything. So robots.txt, just give me 1 minute. Okay, if you look at robots.txt, if this is robots.txt configuration, and what is allowed, say for example, we'll take home directory to be allowed, just for an example, and disallowed, what is disallowed, we'll take backup directory to be disallowed. So there is a request here which is from this user for home directory. Now we have robots.txt file, which is a security configuration file. It is going to stop this, and it is going to check, okay, this user wants to access home directory. Now it will directly come to its configuration and check home directory. Home directory is allowed. So what it does, it will forward the request to this. Again, if the same user, he wants to access the backup directory, that request will also be stopped, intercepted by robots.txt. It will come here, it will check backup directory, it is disallowed. So what it will do, it will drop the request here. So anyone who is trying to access sensitive directories via a search engine, they will not be in a position to access all these directories. Yes, so this can sometimes, no, not sometimes, this can actually prevent an attacks from your sensitive directories from being accessed. Let me also show you these directories. We have common websites which have these directories, robots.txt configuration. Facebook has this almost all sites, good secure websites will have a robots.txt file configured. Now let me show you this one simple for robots.txt. It's going okay. We have Facebook robots.txt here, and look at Facebook, what they have allowed and what they have disallowed. These are the different directories which they have disallowed, which means these are all sensitive directories which you cannot access via any search engine. Not only with the help of Google, it can be with Bing, it can be with Yahoo search, it can be with any search engine. You can access you won't be able to access all these directories. Almost all secure websites will have access, will have a configuration like this. Now what we have seen till now is just one part of Google. It is just one part of Google. We still have n number of vulnerabilities. Out of 100, what we have seen is only 0.5 percentage of 100. Cyber security is such a vast field. It is an ocean which has so much of issues, so much of vulnerabilities. We have a lot of things to learn here. But as of now, what we have learned, 0.5 percentage. This 0.5 percentage is one with Google. We have a lot, but we have just seen Google Docs. We have only seen about Google Docs. Again, with regards to your Gmail, we have Gmail security. With regards to losing your mail, or in case if your mobile mail gets hacked, what you'll have to do, how it gets hacked, what are the different exploitation techniques for attacks. These, we have a lot of things like this. And then moving on to the different attacks, we have different vulnerability assessments which can happen. We have scanning based techniques. We have exploitation tools which are meant only for exploitation, with which you can exploit Windows based machines, you can exploit Linux based machines, you can exploit Android mobiles. A lot of exploitation. You have privilege escalation, where an attacker tries to escalate his privilege from a guest user to an admin user. We have covering tracks, which is going to cover, which an attacker tries to delete all sorts of information which is going to point him back, or which is going to trace him back. It's such an excellent field. And for me personally speaking, forensics is so much interesting. Why? Because it always helps us in understanding what has happened. Rather than attacking, rather than preventing the attack has happened irrespective of all these security measures, and you are in a position to find out who did this. That is one exciting job profile to have. And yes, for any freshers or anyone who wants to change or who wants to shift to this domain, yes, you don't need to have a second thought. Cybersecurity is such a wonderful domain. Next, for the 30 plus years, this is going to be one of the top paid domains. Why? Because with digital, everything turning into digital medium. Yes, you make all the payments with your mobile. You have everything with internet now has become a mandatory source. So you now digital medium has become predominant everywhere. So this protecting this digital medium is going to be one of the primary jobs for any company or for any individual. So requirement for all these security aspirants, security professionals is going to increase, and anyone who is a fresher or anyone who is a working professional who wants to change your domain, you might be a web developer and you want to change your domain or you want to shift to security domain. Yes, you have excellent opportunities with good pay scales. Yes, you can go for that. And I hope we have come to the conclusion with this. And just give me 1 second. Okay. And okay, I am available in Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook in the name of Shankarraj Subramanian. You can contact me in Insta in case if you have any queries. Yes, you can reach me out in Instagram. I'm active there. Or in case if you have genuine queries, yes, you can also email to me or you can ping me in WhatsApp. I'm not that active in WhatsApp, but still I respond to messages. In case if you have any genuine queries, please, genuine queries of how to get into this field, or any genuine queries which is related to using any tools or softwares, yes, you can ping me. And please don't come up with queries like I need this account to be hacked. Help me out. I want my boyfriend account to be hacked, girlfriend account to be hacked. No, no, not that. Anything which is genuine query, yes, you're free to contact. And I hope I didn't waste much of your time. With this given time frame, I've given you some like all information which is relevant to you, because I don't want to come up with a tool like XYZ which no one has seen, and I don't want to explain about the tool for 1 hour and then the time goes off and no one understands something. So that is the reason I took Google, because Google is something which everyone knows. And starting with Google, we started with a simplistic approach so that you can relate to something which you are using on a day-to-day basis. And I thank every one of you for your time and patience. I hope to meet you in another wonderful session like this. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session and thank you for your time. We now have the expert talk on current trends in mobile application security by Mr. Venkatar Kodimala. He is a senior IT professional in software testing of applications spread across various technologies pertaining to legacy, ETL, and emerging technologies. He's serving as a project manager at C-DAC Hyderabad and looking after mobile application security testing engagements. He's a certified project management professional, certified Scrum Master, and a certified software testing engineer. His areas of interest are security in emerging technologies such as mobile security, web security, and cloud security. I now welcome Mr. Venkat sir to take up the session.
Yeah. Hi all. Good afternoon. And thanks, Anusha, for your nice words. I'm Venkatar Kodimela, currently with C-DAC Hyderabad. So, as part of today's session, we'll be looking into the current trends in mobile app security and we'll limit ourselves to Indian context, like Indian landscape. So the outline of this session would be, so we'll just look into the introduction, the statistics of the mobile usage across India. So, and like we also look into the major causes of security issues. Later we'll look into the comparison, like we'll try to compare the Android and iOS platforms. So which one is better and which one is more vulnerable. So we'll touch upon the major mobile threats that currently the devices are experiencing. And lastly, we'll see like the tips which the Android-based mobile devices can configure on their devices, so to protect them from any of the attacks. So as the introduction, like as we just to take a recap, like so a smartphone would be like a cell phone, but it does more than making phone calls or sending text messages. So, and with the help of smartphones, so anyone can browse the internet and run the software programs like a computer does, and the smartphone can be accessed through the touch screen that it has. So what happened, like once the evolution of the mobile devices, so here I'm taking mobile devices, like assuming mobile devices as smartphones. So so as the evolution of mobile devices, which revolutionized the lives of the people, and it given empowerment to users to perform their day-to-day activities, and with few taps on the device. So it given a lot of flexibility for the users to use with the device to perform their day-to-day activities. So as per the recent survey that that we came to know that an average Indian spends around 4.7 hours every day on the mobile device, so performing their day-to-day activities. So coming to the capabilities that a mobile device does, so it does have a component like camera, so through which the user can take pictures. It does have a messaging app through which he can send messages to others. So it does have a social media, so through which the users can connect to other like his friends or his colleagues through Facebook, LinkedIn, or WhatsApp. So they have the games option, like games apps, through which the user may use them to play the games. So they have a video chatting facility. They do also have a maps through which the user can find the routes to reach certain locations. It does also have voice calls through which the user can make calls to his friends or relatives, and it does also have the browsing feature through which he can look through the internet and get the information. So, and looking like going on to the statistics just of the mobile device usage across India. So this is how the mobile usage stands in India. So this is the projected score for 2022 is 490.9 millions. So and the trend, as you see the trend, there is an increase from increasing trend, and going forward we'll see more number of mobile users in India. And coming to the internet users, so it has even the internet usage on the mobile devices is also increasing, and currently at 2022 year, so we have around 486 million users. So it is around 48 crores, and it is projected to have more usage like by the users. So going to the this slide, in this slide we'll just try to understand the projected mobile data usage. So as you see, so there is an increase in mobile data usage, and 2026 usage of a user would be around 40 GB per month. So and coming to the cyber attacks, so this is how the India stands currently. It is increasing, and if you see on the year 2020, there is a tremendous increase in cyber attacks because of the pandemic situation, pandemic that allowed like the that allowed the lockdown, and because of which the cyber attacks increased. And in 2021, it is also like 14.03 lakhs of cyber attacks happened in India. So, but as per the year 2022, so we see 2.12 lakhs of cyber attacks, but this figure is still February. So, this information we got from CERTIN. So, it's an authorized government organization. So, like, let's get into the causes that of this cyber security issues. So the majority of the major causes of security issues are discussed in this slide. So as the attackers are attackers are highly skilled, they have very easy access to all the devices. So this is one of the cause that the attackers will target the devices. So the mobile platforms which we have are having complex coding. So which having if any glitch is existing in any platform, which the attackers who are already highly skilled, so will try to exploit those glitches and try to attack the devices. So and the other cause is like, so because of some negligence by the user, which will give room to the attackers, and the attackers will be always on the lookout to exploit the devices. So like the negligence can be considered here, like whenever any user tries to connect to public Wi-Fi and does any payment activity. So in that way, the attacker may try to collect the sensitive information from the device, and later that can be exploited. So and coming to the other cause, so attackers target system, like the system in sections. So in some parts. So and the evidences of the first breach on the device so will be erased deliberately by the attacker. And whenever we discover that some kind of attack happened on the device, and during investigation, so it will be cumbersome for the investigators of the cybercrime that to like zero down to the attacker. So there is another cause like sensitive data. So this data resides in the devices, and the data will be used by the payment applications by the users. So which are soft targets, like targets by the attackers, and they steal the data. So like as we touched upon the payment apps, so let's just look into the payments, the transactions that occur in India. So this is how it stands. So we are in the year 2022, and till March itself, we already have 8,193 crores of amount transacted as through the payment apps. So this is how it is trending in India with respect to mobile payments. So like with respect to payments, so we look into the few more information. So there are numerous fake financial applications which disguises users as it is as they are very similar to the existing or most popular mobile applications. So which does collect the information from these like information from the users. So there is also one kind of insecure practice, like using mobile browsers, so which are not secure, so which will try to capture the data from the users, and which will be later attacking with those data and doing some misbehaviors. So as we see, as we are now on 4G, and we are slowly transforming into 5G. So there will be more such attacks in the 5G arena. So in this slide, like in this section, we'll try to compare the mobile device platforms available, and here we'll be looking into Android and iOS. So as the Android and iOS are the mobile device platforms, and they have their own offerings. So let us just discuss. So the iOS will have most secure app marketplace. So it is most secure, most preferred by the users. and even iOS will have is having a secure manufacturing process. iOS is having best security patches that it does release security patches frequently to the users' devices. So coming to the next point, so the third-party security apps like antivirus softwares, so will be supported by the both platforms, and the code like so the security at source code level is best handled by the both platforms. So this is the comparison between the two platforms. So coming to the market share that the mobile platforms share in India. So this is how it stands. So we have several platforms like Android, iOS, Kai iOS, Samsung, Nokia, and there are unknown platforms which still there in the market. So, but we'll see. We are like as per the statistics, we say Android stands out, and it has 95% of the market share. So whereas the iOS having market share of 3.9. So as the market share of Android is more, so we'll see like which are all the OEMs that share the market in the Android landscape. So this is how it stands. So Xiaomi shares 22%, Samsung shares 19%, Vivo shares 15%. Likewise, the other OEMs share in this way. So why we like as we see the market share of Android, so we'll just try to incline our discussion towards Android. So here in this slide, we'll try to discuss why Android platform is vulnerable. Like, so what are the reasons why are the Android platform becoming vulnerable? So as we saw, like iOS App Store is not open source. Like the code is not available openly, so it does have more stringent rules. And whereas the Google open source, Android open source code is available openly, and anyone can download. So as Android, like as discussed, as Android is open source, OEMs like so original equipment manufacturers of the devices does take the source code and do lot of customizations as per their like offerings on the device. So and which may leave some of the glitches, some of the errors on the source code through which the hackers will try to exploit them. So and why the Android platform is vulnerable? The other reason is like so there are many OEMs that do customizations, and the OEM has the responsibility to release the patches to their respective devices. So there could be some inconsistency in releasing the software updates or the security patches, so on their respective mobile devices. So this is how the vulnerability stands for the Android platform. So let us go to the mobile threats, like which are majorly observed in the current scenario. So here the slide says like we have malwares. So in malwares we have fake mobile apps, so which like try to mimic or pretend to some existing mobile app. So we have spywares which does spying on the mobile app, and it records the user actions and sends to its master. So we have adware which tries to see the interests of the user and prompts the ads on the several apps on the device, through which the revenue will be generated. We have ransomware, so which does try to create some situation wherein which the user is inaccessible to his own device, and the attacker will try to demand sometimes some ransom from the user, and upon which the payment of the ransom only the device will be freed from his control. So there are hidden apps, so which are not visible on the device, but it does something on the background. So also we have Trojan virus, which once it is injected into the device, it does some kind of unexpected things. So other threats would be like phishing. Phishing is like some kind of URL is being sent through SMS or some message, some email or any messaging app, and once the user clicks on the message, so we'll see that directs to the malware app. So that malware app takes control of the device and does some harmful like things, actions. So we have IoT threats. So we also have Wi-Fi threats, like once the Wi-Fi router is attacked and it is compromised, then the traffic through the Wi-Fi router so is not safe. So we see a lot of security issues in that way. We have social engineering attacks. So we also have poor password threats, like so the user has to keep on changing their passwords and make it like complicated so that the attacker cannot guess the password patterns. So there is a denial of service threat where the attacker will make the device not to respond to any of the services. So we'll just elaborate more on the threats. So this is how the malware stands. Like malware is a combination of malicious software, like malicious, like the 3 first letters and the last 4 characters in software. This is how the malware has came into existence. So which are having spyware or ransomware, as we discussed, and which gets activated when a user clicks on any suspicious link which has some malicious intent. So which leads to the dangerous software which gets installed on the device. So after installing, after the app gets installed, so we can like these are the things that we may observe on the device. So it tries to block the access, as we discussed. So it tries to block the access and makes the device inaccessible to the user by creating some disconnections between the network components. And as and when like the user discovers the attacker will demand the ransom from the user, and upon the demands fulfilled, only the attacker will give the control back to the user. So the malicious software could be the harmful software. So like the Trojan virus or any of the virus which once installed on the device may create some situation which is harmful to the device. So there are spywares which covertly try to sit on your device and tries to obtain the data, the personal data or sensitive data, and transmits the same to the servers of the attacker, like to the system of the attacker. So here, so the malicious software may disrupt individual parts, like so it may turn the device or the system inoperable. So as so this is how the malicious software may behave. So we'll just touch upon the fake apps. So how fake apps will be. Fake app which does have try to pretend or mimic in the same way that the functionality of any legitimate application which is available in Google Play Store or Play Stores. Not only Google, but other Play Stores as well. So once the fake app installed on the device, it tries to steal the credentials of the user. So it tries to find the financial data stored on the device and captures that, and it tries to steal the business data which is available on the device. So and also it tries to look for the sensitive data, that is personal identifiable information, so which is very sensitive in nature, and with that the attacker will try to get benefited. So and the fake apps also will have ads that will try to be pushed to the user device to generate certain revenues. So we'll just look into the example of how the fake app is found on the Play Store. Now the left one is it's a Flix online app, but the right one is Netflix app. So if you see the fake app is trying to disguise the original app, the authenticated app. So this is how the fake app and sure, like so there are certain things that you can look for the information, look for the information in the App Store for a particular app and confirm whether that app is original or not, or authenticated or fake app. So coming to spyware attack, so this spywares, like it could be in this way, like, so a spyware can be injected into your device, so through a voice call from WhatsApp. So this is how a spyware can be come into your device and sits in your device. So here this is an example that recently occurred. So any device which receives a WhatsApp call, uh, like so that spyware will be installed on the device without even user is performed any click. So like such kind of spywares were observed recently, and these were created by the Israeli cyber surveillance company, that is NSO Group. So, and as we discussed, we have ransomware attacks. So hackers, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so a lot of users across the globe, particularly across India, try to find information about the virus spread across the locations, and because of this reason, attackers could able to create the mobile applications which they claim that it will give the statistics of the infections across locations, and how the recovery rates and the fatalities, and also the vaccination that the users may find. So likewise, an app is created by the attackers, which is called coronavirus, like COVID lock. So which took the full control of the device, and whenever and the user even not able to unlock the device. So, and with this, like the ransom of certain dollars, like the amount in bitcoins, were demanded by the attackers, and within a given time, if it is not been provided to the attackers, so the data which is resided on the device will be deleted. So it was such how the ransomware attacks happen across devices. So we have adware, like, so attackers will always try to see users which who are not who are naive users. So they try to mislead by tricking users, and the adwares will be installed on the devices. So, and that may take them to a range of different ad types. So the adwares will be looking into your interest, like whatever the interest that you have, like while browsing the internet. So it captures the interest of the user, and the ads will be sent to the device accordingly. So there are a lot of digital revenues that gets generated from such numbers, and the clicks that the user does on the device. So even the adware attacks will be like, they will try to fraudulently fabricate the numbers which the user from the users, and with which they will try to get the revenues uh, from the companies who send the ads. So later we'll just look into the phishing part. So phishing attacks are the effective methods. So they try to send the malicious links on the user's device, like in the form of messages like SMS. It could be SMS, it could be email, or any other messages. So, and once the user tries to click on the link, it does take to the dangerous software, like which is dangerous software, and upon installing, then the malicious app will does some like unexpected behavior. So like here the suggestion would be, so any user like a user, if he tries to click on any URL, so we should deliberately check the content or the formation of URL, then only click on the URLs. So as per the research, like it shows 1.23 millions of phishing sites are launched every month. So in this way, like, so the attackers are trying to mislead the users by sending the malicious links, and they are insisting in some way to install their applications which are malicious, and through which they will try to collect the sensitive data. So as per the statistics, so 87% of the successful mobile phishing attacks take place outside of email. So outside of email, in the sense, it could be from this social engineering part, like social media may also send few messages, and through which the malicious URLs will be shared, and and likewise we have SMS from the device, so through which URLs will be shared. So, and if the user doesn't care much about the URL and just clicks on the URL, it takes to a very malicious app with which the devices will be compromised. So here we'll just look into an example. So JI fake. So this is recorded. It's first like malicious use. What it does is it has a QR code, like quick response code. It does like once any user tries to scan on the QR code, so it redirects the user's device to an app which like impersonates a mobile messaging app. So in this case, it is JAMM. So this is a mobile messaging app. So once after the user installs, so the user will be signed up from this app, and to the premium sources where the charges will be put on to the user. So the amount will be deducted from the user's account. So this would be a phishing attack. So we'll just look into the security tips that the Android-based mobile devices may configure on their devices to protect themselves from any of such attacks. So here are the list of tips. So we have Google Play Protect, which is in the Play Store, Google Play Store. So there is an aspect of app permissions which the user has to revisit time to time to see which of the components having which permissions. So a user may have the Google like Find My Device, so which will be used if the user loses his device somewhere, and just to track back its location. The users may have to put in place like the two-factor authentication. So whenever the user wants to log in into any of the app, so if the user has to always choose the option of having the authentication with two factors. Like, so it could be from one from the email and also from the mobile PIN. So the next tip would be to have strong passwords or the pattern. So and as per the passwords, so the user has to frequently update his passwords and make the password, and it should not allow any attacker to guess the passwords. So, and the next security would be, so the user may use safe browsers. So it could be Brave, like the names of browsers, such browsers would be Brave, Onion, Aloha, and Tor. Like what it does is these browsers will try to remove the web like history that the user browse it on the web browser. Like, so whatever the user actions or activities that the user performed on the browser, so they will all be erased. So there is no track of any information by the user on the browser. So we can also there is another tip called like backups, which can be disabled by the user on the device. So we have a smart lock which does only unlock, like gets itself unlocked when the user holds the phone in his hand, or any trusted places when the phone finds in any location which is trusted, or connects to the device which is already listed like which is already added as a trusted device. So we also have a good ad personalization, where Google tries to capture all the interests of the user, and based on the interest, ads will be pushed onto the device. So we can, and the devices may still may have some malicious intent, and they have certain links that will create some issues, security issues in the device. So the next security would be, so the user may prevent himself or herself from installing any of the apps from unauthorized sources. And always try to, another tip would be, always try to update the system software, the device system software, with the latest version, and also try to receive the patches that were released by the OEMs from time to time. So we'll just look upon few of the tips. So this is Google Play Protect. So it is as part of the Google App Store. What it does is, whenever you enable this, and anytime if any user tries to download any of the app, so it does check through the app for any malicious behavior. So if it has any malicious intent in the app, so the Play Protect will notify the user about the same. And even the Play Product will try to scan through the device. So whatever the apps that device is already having, it scans through the device for all in the apps that it is having. So, and it tries to find any harmful behavior. So if found any behavior which is malicious, then the Play Product will notify the user about the risk that it found. So coming to the next slide, here we'll here we'll it is shown about the permission that the app takes when the app installs. So whenever any app installed, so it may seek certain permissions for the app to run. So few of the apps will be in such a way, it may ask for more permissions, but all the permissions may not be used in the app. So you can from time to time you can just go to the permission manager. This is a feature in Google Android phones. So where you can look for the permissions, and whether that permission is really required by the app or not, and you can set accordingly on the device. So whenever you open the device, it may ask you, or so these are the settings that you can perform on the device accordingly to make the permissions be given for that particular app. So there is another feature in Google which you can configure. This is Find My Device. So what it does is, in any situation, if the user does keep his phone, and later he realizes that the phone is not with him, then this feature will help him to find his device. Later, once you learn, any user learns or realizes that if the device is not in his control, or is not in his premises where he resides, then this will help him to alert, to confirm whether he lost his device or not. And upon he discovers that his device got lost, then he can inform or alert the authorized people and take necessary measures to block access and make the device inaccessible to the guy who stolen the device. So there is another feature, another tip, so which can the user can configure on the device. So this is backup the data. So whenever the user turns on the backup, so whatever the information or the data that is backed up on the device will be sent by the apps. So there could be malicious apps that may be doing this. So this personal data or the sensitive data will be communicated back to the servers of the malicious app. So in this way, if you disable the backup, then it will no app could able to send the data to the servers. So in this way, you can prevent sending data to malicious app servers. So there is a feature called Smart Lock, which is once you set the Smart Lock so it does what it does is it tries to unlock the phone when the user is holding the phone. So sometimes it doesn't like irritate the user for unlocking every time. So it keeps unlocked while the user is holding the phone. So smart lock does like whenever the user uh, navigates through any of the location which he already added as the safe location, then upon finding the device in that location, the smart lock will be activated and the device gets unlocked. So likewise, we have a trusted device. Like whenever the user tries to connect to any of the devices, and if the user adds that device as a trusted device, then whenever the user device finds the trusted device, the device will automatically unlock. So this is how the smart lock functions. So we also have Google's ad personalization. So which here the Google ads, like the Google will collect the interest from the users. So whatever the browser actions that the user does, it does collect the interest or the habits that the user is having. So based on the information that collected by the Google, so it tries to push the ads without the notice of, like without the permission of the user. So this could be something kind of uh, invasion, like the privacy will be disturbed by the such ads. So we can set the personalization, ad personalization to like we can turn it off, so that it can like the Google will no longer send any such messages on the device. So here, like there is one more tip. We can prevent by configuring the device. So whenever any app that is not like that is unauthorized, that is not trustworthy, so we can set the source, and we cannot allow, like we can set not to allow to install any of the app from such sources. So this could be outside of the Google Play Store as well. So we have an auto update feature. So where this does is, like whenever any new update with respect to this device software, like the version of the software is released, so then it will be downloaded automatically on the device and the installation will happen in the given time. So always try to auto update the set the auto updates feature, and which will try to install the updates and the security patches that are received on the device. So let us have a summary, like what we have discussed till now. So and the security aspects that anyone can take care of for his respective device. So always keep updating your device with the latest software. So by enabling the auto update feature on the device, so this can be done. So always practice to install the security patches. So from the OEMs, so and with which the security like aspects will be provided by the OEM. So this way we can like protect the device from any of the security threats that may be coming through. So always browse the website which are trustworthy. So never browse any untrustworthy website, so which may try to give you some malicious links, and upon installing upon clicking on the malicious link which directs to the malicious apps. So be always try to avoid such activities, and never try to install apps or the software from like untrustworthy publishers, so which will like upon which will your device gets compromised. And never use the public Wi-Fi hotspots so for performing any critical transactions, mainly like payment transactions. So the public Wi-Fi will be not secure, insecure, and will have the attackers trying to look for such information from any of the user, and later that will be exploited. So these are the references that the above information was taken from. And so here we come to the end of this session.
Venkat sir. Thank you for the wonderful session and thank you for your time. And I would like to thank all the participants for attending today's webinar. Kindly submit the feedback. I have posted the feedback form link in the chat box. So request you all to kindly submit the feedback. And certificate of participation will be issued on receiving the feedback. Thank you, one and all. You can announce it.
Participants, unmute.
Who? Unmute you, huh? Sir,
Yeah. 1 second, participants. Oh, okay. Participants, kindly fill the feedback. The link is now working. I think refresh your page and then you can start give the feedback. Now the link is working. Feedback form is now accepting the response. Kindly check it out. Participants, as I already told, this is the link for the pragmatic approach to cybersecurity course. Those who are interested, you can gone through the site and then you can make research by yourself. If you have any doubts, means you can contact us as the following email ID. csfs@cdac.in. Okay, so I'll share the contact mail ID. If you have any doubts, if you want to have any course to be registered in future, you can drop your mail at csfs@cdac.in. Kindly response, you can able to give the feedback. Participants, anyone give a response, can able to give the feedback. Okay. So once again, I repeat that please provide the feedback. So based upon the submission of your feedback and then attendance on the WebEx link, we're going to give the certificates to all the participants. So it was my privilege to give vote of thanks to all the participants. So today we conducted a webinar on cybersecurity under Future Skill Prime program. So on this, because we thank NASCAM, MITI, and C-DAC Hyderabad for supporting us to conduct this webinar. I thank resource person, all the resource person. The first speaker is Shankar Raj Subramaniam, founder and CEO Prompt Infotech Coimbatore. Thank you so much, sir. And our internal speaker, Mr. Venkat R. Kodimela, project manager, C-DAC Hyderabad. Thank you so much, sir. Both the session was very interactive. I hope all the participants have a great insight on cyber security and cyber crimes. Every month as a part of Future Skill Prime cybersecurity, And every month we are conducting a series of webinar apart from the workshops, apart from the government officials training and other things. So we are conducting a webinar on every month. So I hope we have the contact details of you all. So we post the information regarding the upcoming webinars in future. So if you are interested, you can register by yourself and attend the webinar. Okay. So thank you all once again. Thank you so much. Participants, once again, please submit the feedback. If you submit the feedback, you can leave the session. Yeah, thank you.